Jewish Film Festival kicks off on Saturday with events happening throughout the state all week long.
This is the 22nd year for the film festival. Started out small, it's gotten big. With us, two of the people who are overseeing this year's festival, Executive Director Barbara Nerson and President David Scholler. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you both here.
Thanks for having us.
What did you try to do this year? I know that every year your motto is pretty straightforward, is make it bigger and make it better, but what were you looking at this year, Barbara?
We were looking at picking films that we felt would appeal to a diverse audience that show some interesting things about the global Jewish experience.
Is it hard to find these movies, David?
It is, but we have a fantastic screening committee that goes through the hard work each year of literally watching hundreds of hours of films and curating a great program. So
let's take a look at some of these films. We'll start with It Must Schwing. Here's a clip.
In the meantime, Frank was taking pictures.
He was a photographer. He'd be dancing around.
I mean, it wasn't expert dancing at all. It was just kind of stumbling around, but his body was moving up and down. And if he wasn't doing that, that was not a good thing.
This is about the founders of Blue Note, which was a jazz club in New York City.
Yep.
This is an interesting one because, as we see, it's kind of a mix of animation and real-life footage.
It's an amazing documentary, it really is. These two German Jews who left Nazi Germany in the 30s came to New York. They'd both been exposed to American jazz a little bit when they were in Berlin, but when they got to New York, they just absolutely fell in love with American jazz. They became real jazz nuts, and they concocted this idea to start their own jazz label. And they founded Blue Note and ended up discovering some of the most amazing jazz talent of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I mean, we're talking about John Coltrane, Herbie Hancock, just you name it, Miles Davis, anyone you know in jazz, they were on this label.
Let's take a look at another film that's also a documentary. This is called Citizen Jane. It's about an activist in New York City by the name of Jane Jacobs. Here's a clip.
I believe the city is not about buildings, the city is about people.
She was questioning orthodoxy at a time when women were not welcomed in those environments.
She was a housewife. That's how they treated her.
Try to mess with a bunch of mothers.
This is one of the really pivotal people in the last 50, 60 years of America because she was one of the driving forces in architectural and historic preservation, right, Barbara? So what's the story here?
It's actually a really kind of an amazing story. I mean, Jane Jacobs started her career as a journalist, and by virtue of some stories she was covering, got really interested in what was going on in urban planning at the time. And she ended up in this epic battle with Robert Moses, who was then kind of the power broker in New York real estate, who was intent on pretty much razing entire neighborhoods and destroying the urban fabric of New York. And she ends up writing this 1960 landmark book, The Death and Life of American Cities, and really turns modernist urban planning on its head and founds this sort of crusade to improve the character and culture of New York urban life.
Barbara, when people are watching some of these films, what are you hoping they're taking away from this entire festival?
Well, first of all, we hope they're having a wonderful movie experience. These are great films. We also hope that they're learning a little bit, that they're learning a little bit about different countries, about Jewish life maybe in those countries, and also about human relationships.
And you have family activities going on as well. You've got family films.
Yes, we have a family program that features the film Paddington, which some people may not know, but it does have a Jewish connection with the refugee children in London during World War II.
The film that I believe is going to be kicking off the festival on Saturday night is The Last Suit. We've got some video of that. Tell us a little bit about this film and why you thought so highly of it that this is what you wanted to debut the festival with.
So this is an Argentinian film, and we don't get that many films from South America, so we were very enthusiastic about that. It also is a wonderful film about human relationships. The main character is a little bit of a crusty, sort of disagreeable person who, by the end of the film, you are very, very fond of. And he has relationships with a series of daughters and surrogate daughters, and it really is a lovely, inspirational film.
Beautifully acted, too. The acting in this film is phenomenal.
Those are just 3 of the, more than 30 films that you have this year. And we should also mention that this takes place all over the state: Portland, Lewiston, Brunswick, Rockland, Bangor, and Waterville. That's where the various films are being shown. So there's a lot there to check out. David, Barbara, thanks for coming in and talking with us. The place to find out about all of the movies, where they're being shown and when, is on the link that we've provided. You'll find that on our website and our mobile app. And we're going to be back right after this.